Wow, folks, I've been a landlord now for almost 23 years and it has changed drastically. There were times when I was getting my receipts faxed to me. Yes, I am that old. Now they all come via your phone. Dana, you run a company called hemlane.com. You've seen a lot change just in the years you've been doing this. So let's talk about traditional versus platform and what you're seeing evolve over time.
Yeah, so there's within, I would say, the past 5 years, a lot of different tech innovations that have enabled real estate investors to manage their properties from anywhere. And I think there's kind of two important basically trends that we've seen that's been able to get there. The first on the platform management side is the people. Being able to connect with licensed support through technology. You cannot take people out of the equation. You will always need at some point someone to go out to your property, emergency visit, checking on whatever it may be, from lock boxes to inspections. You're always going to need people there. But what has happened is that more people and more of those professionals who are licensed, whether it's an inspector, a leasing agent, a process server, anyone like that is now more tech enabled. They get their leads through technology and also their reputation through it. Where more times that you work with them, the more you can review them and you understand, do I trust this person to do their job? And so what we found is that the people have been one thing that have helped enable platform management, which Hemlane is, where it's a platform you go to, you manage your properties through software, and you can get the people, the local support that you need when you need it. Now, the second thing that has really helped is fintech. So basically going out and saying, how do we create a way for folks to pay rent online? But I think more importantly, one of the trends is on service professionals, paying service professionals and doing it correctly. Certain things like virtual cards, single-use cards, have been really helpful to get a service professional paid when they're on site, but make sure nothing is overcharged, make sure it's the right amount, et cetera. And so I think this whole wave of fintech that has helped enable for payments to transfer to travel faster, as well as the trend of saying, hey, there's people there when you need them, have completely changed the industry. Now, I get a lot of folks asking me, should I go with a traditional manager or platform management? Traditional managers are on both, right? So they definitely are on both. The question is, what's really right for you? If you want to never hear about your property, you never want to make any decisions. Like, in other words, someone else is going to make the decisions. You say, here are the keys, you make these decisions. You would kind of weigh towards that traditional management. However, I would say the best traditional managers are going to come back to you and confirm you're okay with things, because they know surprises are never good for real estate investors. And then in the case of platform management, you are the decision maker. You make those decisions. Our goal is to educate you on what is the best decision based on different branches of, here are 3 and 4 different ways for you to handle this. But you, at the end of the day, choose how you want to handle that situation, and you make those decisions. And I think that is really important as part of understanding what is right for you, because sometimes that does come down to a personal preference, and also, where are you in your point in time? And so people ask, who do you work with? We're like, we work with everyone, because people come to us, we try to figure out what is best solution for you. Sometimes I'll refer someone and say, here's a traditional manager I know in the area, worked with before, really good reviews for you. Platform management is perfect for you. So we try to segment them into different buckets to understand what is right for you based on who you are, what your property is, and what are your goals in the next 12 months, 24 months, et cetera.
Yeah, I think platform is frankly the way most mom and pops go. Certainly at the beginning when they have the 1s, the 2s,
Yeah.
the 3 units. I think the innovation over the last 5 years has made that even easier, right? Even in your 30-day trial, you want to advertise a property, great. Click, click, click. Here you go. For me, the biggest thing in the beginning was audit trail. because one of my greatest fears was a dispute,
Yep.
and the audit trail that platforms now give is amazing, and reminders and all of that. The ability, something that Hemlane provides, especially if you want to be an out-of-state investor, are those relationships of others being reviewed. I mean, there's so many things that Hemlane provides that maybe need to be sold more in today's environment, or not sold, but positioned more and highlighted more. It's just so much easier to give it a shot. And if you don't like being that, you just, you know, okay, you can go another route. Um, but yeah, I mean, we talked about it. Number one, accidental landlords. We talk about Dion from Dion Talk getting there with 16 or 17 units, being the
Yeah.
lazy landlord. It's just Hemlane and like products make it so much easier uh, to advertise, to, have audit trail reminders. It's just, folks need to take the trial. I mean, if you're in this game, you don't have a rental yet, you should be taking the trial just to practice being a landlord, skill up on that. It's highly recommended. So
Yeah. And the thing I would mention about it is, um, historically 72% of landlords self-manage their properties. I don't think that's changing. And if you think about it, mass market owns between 1 to 10 rentals. That the average is 2 to 4, right? Somewhere
right,
in
2 to 4.
there of
Yep.
how many the average person owns. And so there is still that, hey, I want some sort of control. However, there's the emotional aspect of it where managing yourself without having a platform, I think, does a disservice. And here's why. There's a reason that there's something called the slumlord out there. There's
Yes,
a reason that,
for sure.
landlords complain about their tenants. And the question is, how do you change that? How do you make it where tenants have a great experience? You have a great experience. And that is where you do have to remove yourself, even if it's not fully. You do have to remove yourself and have some sort of middle ground to help manage it in the best way possible. And a lot of times when there's a disagreement, both parties are not seeing the other side of the equation. In other words, like a good example would be a tenant puts in a request and says, my heater's out. And the landlord might just be thinking of themselves, well, it's Saturday morning. I've got to get my kids to soccer practice. I'll get back to them, on Sunday, maybe Monday, because I don't have time to deal with it now. And this was an inconvenient time, versus they forget to put themselves in the tenant's shoes. They don't have heat. They're sitting in their house all day. They were planning to have people over, whatever it is, and it's freezing. And so really having a middle ground that says, hey, this is the best for everyone. Here's the situation we're going to do, whether it's an electric heater right away, followed by getting someone out to fix it. Whatever it is, some way to guide you through the happy path that gets everyone to be much happier about the situation. I think that's really important, and that will continue to change over time, with more folks going towards platform management.
I think platform management is certainly the wave of the future. It's streamlining, it's removing and protecting, the landlord. So it's definitely something people need to be playing with and getting educated on. So I think it's the wave of the future, and that's why Hemlane comes back each week. You're here because, again, I think it provides a service to the landlord. So go to hemlane.com, take the 30-day trial. There's a PDF in the free course and videos in the paid course. Just be a better landlord. Dana, any closing thoughts?
I would say if you are considering keeping your property, and or like we talked about accidental landlord before, if you're thinking about keeping your property and stuff, definitely try Hemlane even before you become a landlord. Just
Yeah.
like understand a little bit more about what the
Practice,
day-to-day
practice,
looks like.
practice.
And the PDF will help you like add tenants to it, understand how
Yeah.
rent is processed, things like that as well.
Yeah, take the trial. If you're an aspiring landlord, you're doing the work in my course, you don't have a rental, take the trial. It's nothing. It doesn't cost you anything. Dana, thank you so much. Thank you for coming back.
Thanks for having me.